Good morning, guys. Just getting started here. Uh, I am a bit exhausted this week. So you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm not even sure I will take a trade, mostly because I'm exhausted. I don't necessarily think that I'll I'll take a bad trade just because I'm exhausted, but I think there's a possibility I'd take a poor trade. Because the exhaustion is kind of making me miss little details and go into things. So that being said, give me about 30 seconds and we'll get started here. Okay. Um, so I will say the price delivery this week has been pretty crappy. This morning's price delivery looks pretty good. So I do like that. That makes me a little more um eager to trade. And I don't want to say eager in the way of giddy, but when price delivery is crappy, I'd just rather not be around. Um, so we'll take a quick start at a little bit of a higher level. So this morning, around let's say 8:45, we had news, I believe at 8:30. Maybe we didn't have news at 8:30, but we had something that created delivery. So we took out this swing high here. And you can see we've kind of been like ranging for a while here. But we took out this swing high on the 15 minute. I'm just going to drop down to the one now. Actually, I'm going to go right back up to the 15. Um, since yesterday morning around 10 o'clock, we've kind of been trading bullishly. I think it was about almost 300 handles. From yesterday's AM session till this morning's AM session. So now I'll drop back down to the one. So you can see here we've kind of been in that bullish delivery. And this morning, say around 9:20, we started this bearish delivery for the downside. It's been pretty strong. We've been respecting the order blocks for the most part on the whole way down, so I do like that. That makes me think that price is a bit more trustworthy. I am anticipating seeing some SMT divergence here just because the Dow is almost down 1%, ES is down about a third of a percent, but NQ is just over a tenth of a percent, or almost 2/10 of a percent. So I do want to watch this for SMT divergence. That doesn't necessarily mean that we will see a reversal, but I do think we'll see more strength in this, or just less, or more weakness in the Dow and less weakness here. So I'm gonna come back down to. Actually, no, we'll stay right here for right now. So in terms of buy side, we've got this high right here, 22,152, and these are relative equal highs. So those are nice there. We also have this buy side liquidity at 176.50. And after that, it's kind of up toward the start of this bearish delivery. Then let's see. I'm gonna move back down to the. Oh, we also have news coming out in like 10 seconds, so I'm gonna make this quick. But for sell side, we've got this here, this, and these relative equal lows, and this here as well. So we have news dropping right now, which is crude oil inventories, and that's orange folder. Those have been a little more important since the change of administration. So during the previous administration, crude oil was usually like a yellow folder, so something we wouldn't pay as much attention to. But with this administration, um, it's orange folder so far, so it's a little more important than it was over the previous months. So you can see the news release took us down into, let's see what this is. New week opening gap from 12.15 took us down into that midpoint. We could continue lower. I'm just going to grade this order block here. Nice job, Shay. So we are seeing a little bit of a bullish delivery here, or I don't necessarily want to call it a bullish delivery, but we are seeing a little bit of displacement toward buy side at the moment. I'm not super interested in this taking a long. I'm gonna watch this volume imbalance right here, and I'm gonna get rid of this because we already disrespected this as an order block. Um, if I was to take a long, I'd want to see price get balanced. So we've got these relative equal highs right here, but then we've got this swing high. 22, 125.75 is that level. So I'd like to see this get balanced, and then create some sort of discount PD array. So I'd like to see it come up here, come a little bit lower, and then form some sort of PD array that would tell us we're going higher. Otherwise, I'm not really going to consider a long. I just want to see what we're doing now. So it looks like we might be going into a little bit of inefficiency. We want to see whether or not price respects this order block. If price disrespects this order block here, we might stay in some inefficient pricing for a little bit. So I was saying that I like this price delivery that we saw before. But since 10 o'clock, I'm not really loving what we're seeing. So still want to keep our eyes on this for SMT divergence. See that Dow is much lower than this. but we're closer to break even on here, so we just want to keep an eye on that. We also want to see if the Dow starts to outpace this in the upside. So if Dow was to start going closer to the positive territory faster than this, um, that's something to keep an eye on as well. But right now it looks like we're getting some inefficient price delivery for a bit. Let's see what the midpoint of this is. I think it's 119 25. Let's see. 119.75. So if we did start to go toward buy side, we want to at least see price pierce the midpoint of this to start to trust anything long. I'll move down to the 15 just to see what we've got here. So mm, these are kind of relative equal lows on the 15. But to see those taken out, I'd like to see this candle finish, maybe somewhere near where it is, and then any subsequent candle take these out. But I don't see a huge reason to take out these lows super quickly, unless we're heading lower to tap this and turn around. But we'll see. I'm gonna watch this here, see if price respects it. So we visited this 3 times, really two, but I'd say we visited it 3 times. I'm still not personally subscribing to higher for longer until, well, I'm not trusting taking an entry, seeking higher for longer until we can balance this at least. So price can run right now. Um, that's fine. But when we're in a pretty strong bearish trend, um, and we start to see like a bullish move, I'd much rather get something that kind of tells me I can trust it a bit. So taking out this liquidity here. This is going to be bullish. I'd like to see this candle close up. Um, Otherwise, I think might just continue sideways, but we'll see. So very possible this was a propulsion block here. I would have wanted to see this close down inside of here. But I don't know. It's looking pretty good. Let's see what the low is. Be 925. 8275. That's the upper quadrant of this here. So this one just traded into here. So now that this closed up, generally I would like to see this start to expand. We are in a pretty strong bearish delivery. So it could reverse, but generally if we're in a pretty clean trend or a pretty clean price delivery, I would think that this trading into this here would make us start to see some displacement higher pretty quickly. Hmm. Wonder if the close of this is the top of this here. 192. So just above the top. I'll get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Just want to see if this references these prices. It does not. So we could be seeing a high resistance liquidity run for sell side. Um, it's just not the cleanest delivery, but I do think if it is a high resistance liquidity run for sell side, um, we could use this as a stop. So I think we could look at this as a run for sell side until price does disrespect this order block here. I don't love the delivery, so I'm not taking it, but generally a close right here, if price was like pretty clean, we could take an entry seeking sell side, at least seeking this here. These are relative equal lows, but this is sell side liquidity. Yeah, so pretty much just got a lack of direction here right now. Honestly, price might be done for us for the week. At least for me, like I might not trade for the rest of the week. Looking at how price is delivering here, because it's not really seeking liquidity on either side right now. We're just kind of hanging around. That's an easy way to get your accounts chopped up. Trying to trade in that. Hmm. So there still doesn't seem to be much of a direction right now. Um, we have this fair value gap, which was created when we started this little um bullish run here. We also have this order block that kind of sent us a little bit lower here. Neither of them have been disrespected yet, so that's even more of a reason for me to sit on the sidelines and wait for something to pan out. I like that motto. Oh man, I did the wrong reactions. Let's see. Yeah, normally if we're moving like this, gun to my head, I'd say lower for longer, but we aren't doing anything. So Mm. So we did just close below here. Fine, bud. So I want to see if this ends up being used as a an inversion fair value gap. Quiet, bud. So I'd like to see now price respect the midpoint of this here. It's pretty instant delivery. Well, that's not away from me. Go. Go. So I wasn't able to take that one. But I do think we're gonna go lower from here using we could use this as a stop, I believe, but missed out on that entry. So should start to see price want to accelerate lower from here. So not taking the entry at this point. I'm late, but inversion fair value gap here. So this was a fair value gap that took us up, came down, closed below it, failed the midpoint of that. So that started another delivery lower. And if I'm correct, we did finish this. So we did leave this here, and now we took those relative equal lows. Yeah, very close to this one here. So I would like to see us take this one out as well. So I think we just took that out. Yep, took out these relative equal lows here. What's pretty interesting here is that ES and NQ have moved lower, but YM hasn't really moved much lower at all. So I would imagine if we looked at YM, it'd probably be leading the way higher. Let's see. Yeah, so let's see. Since 9, 10 o'clock, 9:50, it's just been sideways. And let's look at this on the 1 minute. Since 9:50, we've been going lower. So there's a bit of SMT divergence there. We gotta keep our eye on this percentage on YM to see if it starts to outpace the others higher. Um, I don't think that's too far-fetched. It's been lower for longer, pretty much all morning, although it's been a little slow since 10. But I do think if the Dow starts to lead the way higher, we take out this buy side liquidity and can close above the midpoint of this gap here, I could see us returning um, to the opening range gap midpoint. But just something to keep our eye on. Doesn't mean that's going to pan out, but very interesting to note. So YM is starting to come in sync with the other two indices now. So we still have the 950 level to run through. Doesn't mean we will today, but that's yesterday's low. Um, so that's what I'd be looking for sell side liquidity. On buy side, if we did want to see higher prices, I want to see price get, I want to at least see this get balanced here. Ideally, I'd like to see us balance this range. So it's 22,093 level. Um, but outside of seeing price like balance this at least, I'm not gonna look for anything for buy side. Sell side, we're pretty far into this delivery. Um, and I did miss that entry before, so I don't want to take anything too deep in there. So might be a no trade at least for the AM session, the 10 to 11 session. On the 1 minute Uber, this guy here. What you think an Uber possible inversion? This guy. Hmm. Gotcha. Drop back down to the 15. take a look at that order block or fair value gap again. Hmm. Just looks like we're gonna see some inefficiency here. I'd like to see it just run lower, but looks like we might just see some inefficient delivery for a little bit. So ran this out. Makes sense to see some retracement. So the high here is the open of this order block. So we're coming up on 11 here. I think I am going to end up closing up stream. So I think where we are now, we probably will see a pretty strong candle. I don't know which direction, but just the way that we've been delivering right here, I think we're gonna start to see some pretty big inefficient candles here. I mean, this is an inefficient delivery, but I think we'll see some like larger wiki candles coming about soon. So here are the wiki candles. Okay, so we're about a minute out from 11. Gonna close the stream around then. Um, for me, if I was looking for a bullish delivery, I'd want to see this price get balanced here. So let's see. 22, 20, 50. Um, and I'd want to see us go through that, come back, create a discount PD array, and from there start cooking. I do think it's possible to see higher, especially considering we have run this low from yesterday and being in a larger um bullish delivery. That would make sense. See what we have for a low here. 013. So the low of this currently is the top of this order block. So we might want to watch this here. This candle is pretty important. If this candle can close up, we can see higher prices. Let's look at this on the one. On the one, it's kind of weak. Yeah, so ideally would like to see a propulsion block, so another down close candle into this. Um, but yeah, that's it. So hope you guys found this helpful. Good luck, good trading, be safe.